Well, it's only December and we are getting more news about MLB The Show 26. So this tweet you guys are seeing on your screen right now says, in MLB The Show 26, Road to the Show adds 11 new colleges. And we can already see North Carolina Tar Heels are being added to the game, which is really cool. It says, here's a sneak peek at some of what's coming for gameplay, franchise, and Road to the Show. So this article just dropped like about a couple days ago, so I definitely wanted to talk about it. So let's move over onto this article, and as you can see, it says more on MLB The Show 26, and this is great news. We already got two decent articles about MLB The Show 26 before 2026, so this is a great sign. It says, back on November 6th, we shared first details on MLB The Show 26. To reiterate, our mission is to create a baseball experience that resonates with everyone, from long-term veterans of the franchise to brand new players picking up the game for the first time. It says below you'll find some details looking forward to in areas of gameplay, Road to the Show, and franchise mode. So that's what this article is going to be about, basically. Now let's move on to gameplay, because they talked about gameplay a little bit back in November. As you guys can see the quote right there, talking about just improving the gameplay with the metrics and all that kind of stuff. So these are the new gameplay features coming in MLB The Show 26. It says, to name a few examples, new catch on the run to allow fielders to cover bases in a more realistic and efficient way. So that's really cool. I wonder, if there's going to just be better animations when you're trying to get a ball on the run. That's kind of what I'm imagining from that, to be honest. Just because I don't really know what they mean by that. Like maybe there's a new dive animation or something, or maybe there's just better animations for when you're on the run, or maybe you can get to more balls. I know the frustrating thing is when you're on the run trying to get a ball, it gives you like a bad animation knowing you're not going to catch it, which is annoying, which slows your fielder down. So especially if you got someone like 99 speed on the base paths, they can definitely turn a double into a triple, which is annoying. Maybe it's something like that. Not really sure. We kind of got to wait till they show some gameplay. It also says new, more efficient cutoff throws enable corner infielders to get rid of the ball more naturally while cutting down runners trying to take an extra base. So it's definitely going to be for first and third baseman. Now they did improve in this in Road to the Show when you're a third and first baseman. Remember, you get the option to choose on which base you want to throw to. I wonder if this is just bringing that same mechanic to all modes, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. That's definitely good to have more animations for that, though. This one's really interesting. It says knee down catchers now have full arsenal of new animations to support smarter and more realistic actions. So that's really cool. You can probably pick runners off from the knee now, which we've seen in MLB for quite some time. Pop time for catchers is now its own attribute, helping separate the best from the rest. Now that is really cool. Pop time is going to be a new attribute in MLB The Show 26, which I think is very cool because all we have for catchers is blocking, really, which, isn't the greatest attribute in my opinion. Then it says using real life data metrics, fielders reaction rating is now split into 4 directional attributes instead of just one. So there you go. Reaction rating is now 4 different, well, I guess you can call them mini attributes instead of just one. So a lot new stuff changing with attributes, a lot more animations we're getting to the game, which is phenomenal. These new defensive catch animations are being added that allow players to make plays on balls true to life physics across all surfaces, types, and walls. So obviously we're gonna have new diving animations. So we're gonna have new catching animations, which is gonna be really cool. So balls off the wall and all different types of surfaces that we have in the game. So a lot of cool stuff for gameplay. Now this is the really interesting stuff that we gotta talk about. It says we're also introducing a suite of new gameplay features such as bear down, big hitting zone, PCI sensitivity, fixed zone, and free anchor. We'll share more details about these improvements and additions in the new year. And it says that's not all. ABS and PitchCom will be added for more replay depth in MLB The Show 26. So that is already crazy. We have 5 new gameplay features and we have 2 new additions being ABS and PitchCom into MLB The Show 26. Now I'm gonna cover ABS and PitchCom first because I think it's gonna impact the game a lot. I think PitchCom is just gonna be like a visual thing. I don't think anything new is gonna be added to the game, but I do think ABS can completely change the game. As you guys know, if you've ever seen the ABS system used in the All-Star game or in spring training or in the minor leagues, basically if any ball touches the part of the strike zone, it is considered a strike, and each team gets 2 challenges to use for the catcher, batter, or pitcher. So I wonder if that's going to be added to MLB The Show, because if it is, then they have to change the strike zone to that way. Or I hope so, because it would make pitching a lot easier, I think, at least for like the average players and things like that. So maybe they're adding some, ABS systems. I think that would be really cool. You could challenge some calls, especially when the umpire gets it wrong, because that does happen from time to time. And then we have these new gameplay suits: bear down, big hitting zone, PCI sensitivity, fixed zone, and free anchor. So I imagine free anchor maybe just lets you anchor one part of the zone or something like that. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. The fixed zone thing, no idea what that could be, honestly, not really sure. Maybe let me know in the comment section down below what you think that's going to mean. The PCI sensitivity thing, I think that's the biggest change, right? Regardless. What PCI sensitivity is, as you guys can see by the screenshot right here, it's going to allow you how fast or how slow your PCI moves when you move your thumbstick, which is just going to be absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. I'm really excited to see that come to the game because I think if you could set it on slow, you actually might be a better player because because you won't be, you know, having your PCI go crazy all over the screen. Or if you set it fast, you like to flick to those pitches, I definitely think that could help you out a lot. Bear down, I really don't know what that means. Maybe it's like a clutch thing, you know, if you're in a clutch situation or something like that. And then big zone hitting, same thing, and not totally sure what that could be. Maybe you just have a massive zone or something like that. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. Maybe some custom gameplay. So those are all the new things coming to the gameplay, which is going to be exciting. The PCI sensitivity thing, once again, I think that's just going to be massive. And then we have this thing called anchor mirror, as you guys can see for the PCI anchor. Pretty much kind of what I said. Your anchor will always stay where you previously set it. So I imagine you can anchor your PCI wherever you want it, which I think could be really cool, especially if you're trying to sit on a certain pitch. Like for me, I always like to sit on some fastballs high in the zone, you know, inside or outside. Sometimes that could be really beneficial, and maybe I might try this. I think it definitely could be a cool gameplay mechanic added to the game. So that's all the new stuff on gameplay. So a lot to look forward to, especially when we get into some of those streams of them talking about the gameplay and things like that. Now we're going to move over to franchise, because there was a lot of interesting things coming to franchise as well. So this is what they say about franchise. Take control of the GM of your favorite MLB team, lead your squad to baseball greatness, to the revamped front office experience in franchise mode, a brand new trade experience, which I think could be huge, improved lineup and rotation logic, along with a streamlining of franchise, lead your team your way in MLB The Show 26. So I think those are already really good. I talked about the new trade system. Maybe that's 3-team trades. Maybe you could have at least 3 or 4 or 5 players in the trades now. Improved lineup and rotation logic, I think is great. And then as it says, here's a sneak peek of the new lineup systems with the screenshots. So as you see, MLB The Show 25 is on the left side and MLB The Show 26 is on the right side. So as we can see for the Yankees and the Mets here, it basically just shows, you know, the old lineups that they had compared to the new lineups where they had. I think this is using more accurate lineup logic that we actually see in Major League Baseball, right? So we always know Judge is always batting 2 or 3, right? So they kind of reflect that here on the right side and with different players on where they kind of stand. Now we can take a look at the Mets, right? We always know Francisco Lindor basically leads off. Juan Soto's like right behind him, something like that. They also reflect that in these screenshots. And then this screenshot of the Mets right here says new in-season lineup logic based on performance, which is also pretty interesting. So if someone's performing really well, they'll be at the top of your lineup. If someone's not performing well, sounds like they'll be lower in the lineup, which I think is pretty cool. It does say that these player ratings are not real for MLB The Show 26. So, you know, just keep that in account that these are not the actual ratings yet in the game. It says lineups are more realistic and they take into account modern baseball and the advanced analytics and all those kind of stats to kind of make these lineups as well. So let's go to Road to the Show now. Now, Road to the Show introduced the amateur years. You know, obviously that was a huge feature. I think everyone loved that across the board, Road to the Show, and I think it was phenomenal. It says with 11 new colleges to choose from, with those introduced in MLB The Show 25, and a chance to play in the College World Series, and various updates to this existing career mode. And that says basically you're in control of your own mode, right? So I want to say this. It does say College World Series. Now in MLB The Show 25, it said College Championship Series or something like that. So maybe they actually got the licensing to use the College World Series in MLB The Show 26, because I definitely want a longer college experience. I think that would be phenomenal to have in the game, especially if it was like the real College World Series with 64 teams and all that stuff. You know, maybe they make it a little smaller just because they don't have as many colleges now, but I think that would be a great addition to have more college games. Or maybe you get to play through your freshman, you know, sophomore, senior year, all that stuff. I think that would be cool as well. So 11 new colleges are coming to MLB The Show. We already talked about with the North Carolina Tar Heels. This is obviously the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So excited to have them in the game. And then the next college is going to be the Oregon State Beavers, obviously Oregon State University. So that's another cool school to have into MLB The Show 26. And this program's been absolutely phenomenal. The Beavers are the only independent baseball team. They're not a part of any conference in college, which is kind of crazy to think about. And they're still one of the best organizations. So that's all the news we have on MLB The Show 26. And then obviously it says don't forget the now and later packs in MLB The Show 25. And then stay tuned for more on MLB The Show 26 in the new year. So that was everything we got in the article. I personally think the gameplay stuff we got is probably the most exciting things we have, honestly. With the new reaction and pop time ratings we're getting to PCI sensitivity and ABS, I think those are the most exciting features because we're going to use those every time we play MLB The Show. For franchise, I'd love to hear more about that new trade experience. I mean, it's cool to have improved lineup and rotation logic, but the new trade experience is, I think, what everyone is going to be wanting to know about. And obviously, more colleges and Road to the Show is going to make the mode even better, and we'll see if the College World Series is actually in the mode, which I think would be phenomenal. But what do you guys think about this article? Let me know down below in the comment section. What was your favorite part and what are you most looking forward to? With that being said, make sure you guys follow me on all the socials down below in the description. Join our Discord if you want to talk more. We also have my Twitter account on X where I'm constantly tweeting updates. And we have all of our clips on Instagram as well. But I appreciate you guys watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.